of the 2016 presidential election and the 2017 local election by election systems and software known as ES&S state vendor in the amount not to exceed $36,000, and this is funds allocated through the general fund, clerk's office election supplies.
Motion to approve. Support.
Motion by Councilman Garza, supported by Councilman Johnson. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. This brings us to the open business portion of our meeting. That means anything that you wish to discuss with council that was not on the agenda, you are welcome to do so. I would just like to first open any comments or discussion to council and the mayor, and then we will go to the audience.
Okay, if everyone is not already aware, there is an election Tuesday, November 8th. Please remember to vote. Please understand that we expect large turnouts at the polls. Be prepared to wait. When we get an hour for your lunch, I wouldn't suggest thinking you're going to accomplish voting in an hour. I hope you are, but just in case, be prepared that it could take longer than an hour. Be patient with my election workers. We do have a lot of new workers, so please be patient with them as they're all, giving their best and being there and taking care of what is very important. So, and also you are able to vote absentee if you meet the criteria up till Monday at 4 p.m., Monday, November 7th. We are open also Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. to the public for absentee voting. So if you want to come in and take care of it, so you don't have to worry about it on Tuesday, November 8th. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Anything else from council? Okay, yes, sir. Please come up.
I want to thank the whatever for doing the hay. Now the two streets, burying the other one. Those two. I've gone to onto Baker, and those two roads should have been fixed. This year should have been fixed. It's so bad, and I was, over time, there was holes like this deep, and I was stealing things to put around all over the place, because when it was filled with water, bam, down you go. Bottom out. That's how bad those two streets are, and they haven't been fixed. And I thought this year, this would have fixed them. There's holes, patch. And it was terrible. And the reason I was stealing with the water in them, the people didn't know what they were getting into at nighttime. All right, now I'll forget about them two guys. And on Baker and Beach Daily, if you make a turn, you have to get out the street. The whole curve is gone. Now these trucks come and they tear a piece of whatever, and they get, there's no curve left. And if they want to make a turn, they have to get all the way out the street to break some water off. And there's no curve there. It should have been fixed. And when I go down to Baker myself, I have to get out of the car and pick all the pieces up that are out in the street. Yes, and I just want to say how bad that there's no curve left. The trucks, they drag half of what was in there. There's asphalt, none. Right out to about a foot and a half or whatever is where the curve. There's no curve. Thank you,
sir.
I have all
Oh, you've got it. Okay, you've already given the information to Mr. Okay.
Yeah.
You came to the right place.
Thank you.
Sir?
Madam Chair, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. My name is Don Elmore. I am here about property located at 6938 Syracuse. I'm here on behalf of my tenant. I'm the landlord of the property. He received a ticket for not cutting the grass. I understand the need to cut the grass, as does he. He is a hardworking man. He travels a great deal. He is single. The ticket arrived when he was out of town. As soon as he got back, he arranged to have lawn service come in. Should have been cut that Saturday, but before it was cut, the city came over and cut it within a couple-day window. I'm here. We were directed to address this body and just ask for an adjustment to the assessment. It wound up being a $1,000 lawn job. Cost me a choke just to say that, which seems a bit excessive on the surface. Okay, maybe that's the laws, I understand, but this is the only body that I know to bring this to. If this is not the proper forum, would you please point me to the proper forum so that we can dispute the charge, ask for some type of allowance adjustment to it. Thank you.
That amount would suggest to me that the city may have cut it more than once.
Just once, ma'am.
Madam Chair, depending on the size, I mean, I don't know how big it is. I don't know if the lawn was real tall, if they had to cut it multiple times while they're there. Again, I don't know enough about the circumstances to discuss the charge of it.
Madam Chair, if I may, the assessment, the bill was for $30 for a cut charge, a $250 admin cost added on top, and that's in addition to the court costs.
Madam Chair, we don't want to cut your grass. We want you to cut your grass.
Yes, sir, I understand that.
So to your question, if you feel that if your question is that you want to contest the ordinance violation, you would need to set up a court hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your question is looking for relief related to the charges, you could approach the assessor. I can tell you that it's not likely that you know, based on travel schedules and all those things, that you would get any type of relief financially from this body, but I can't speak for that.
Okay. $1,000 for a lawn job?
Madam Chair, I'll kind of piggyback on what the mayor says. You know, you state you're the landlord. Okay?
Yes.
One of the biggest problems we have is we have a lot of rentals in the city of Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And in many cases, I should say, they don't maintain the lawn. So we target the landlord.
Mm-hmm.
So the landlord, it's his responsibility to make sure the tenants cut their grass or get a lawn service or something like that.
Sure.
So what we do, just like the mayor said, we don't want to just give a $50 fine. We want to make sure people understand that you will cut your grass in the city of Taylor. And when we add these administration fees, we have to schedule all these things. There's so many moving parts to it. And believe me, just like the mayor said, we don't want to do it. We don't want to have to do it. But we also want to make a strong statement of saying, if we got to do it, you're going to pay for it. So I'm willing to bet that either you or your tenant will not make a mistake again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Over go again.
I know a number of people this has happened to, and there's no, I mean, the ordinance department, like, comes by, they look, they order in the people to cut the grass, there's no notification, then there's all these fines and everything. My sister has a bad heart. She had a service that she paid to do her lawn, and the city showed up when it got a little long, and it was not anywhere near where city-owned property is. You know, sometimes it's 3 feet tall on city-owned property, and it cost her a fortune. She had already paid somebody to do her lawn. There was no notification, just boom, come in and mow the lawn. A friend of mine had the same thing happen to him. Just boom, no warning at all. They didn't get a chance to do anything. to make right. And with no notification, I think it is not justice.
Madam Chair,
Councilman
I know
Woolley.
for a fact that many times when our ACOs or animal control or even ordinance go out, they go up and knock on doors. There was an instance where the lady came in last meeting and said they went up and knocked on their door to tell them to move their car or they were going to get ticketed. I'm not saying that happens every time. Now, if it's a continuance of the same problem, they're not going to do that. They're going to go out and they're going to pull up and they're going to issue the ticket.
But there was no ticket issue. They just called somebody in to do the.
No, there's a ticket issue. What they do is they punch it in the computer and then they order a cut. And then at that point, the city has to schedule and do everything that it has to do to get the company to go out and cut your grass.
So there's no working with the residents at all. It's just, you know, if you are now in violation, you will pay us
That's not what he said. You're not
I'm sorry?
listening. You're not listening. That's not what he
I
said.
did listen.
He said that there are times when there are warnings. There are times when we work with residents, and there's lots of examples of that. It sounds like maybe yours is not one of them.
I'm talking about 2 people I know in that man.
You're talking about a large city too, and not all of them are $1,000. But in a lot of cases, it's the result of a complaint from a neighbor. It's happened on multiple
Well,
occasions.
how about going to the person and saying there's a complaint from your neighbor?
I can't speak to your specific situation. Maybe
Yes,
it happened.
okay.
No, Madam Chair, I mean, the protocol though, not speaking for the ordinance officer because they're not here, but the protocol is to issue a warning. Normally, under normal circumstances, they issue a warning first to give somebody time, you know, within so many days to have their lawn cut. If they come back and it hasn't been cut, then they will issue the ticket and order the cut. But
Well, this didn't
that is
happen
the
to
normal
me personally.
protocol. But
I'm sorry.
again, like Councilman Bzura said, we can't speak to every single instance.
Mhm.
And Madam Chair, if I may, you know, the proper protocol for a ticket as well is to take it up with the 23rd District Court. I mean, coming here and addressing this body about a ticket, it has to go to the court first.
I'm not talking about a ticket. I'm not talking about what happened to my sister or my friend or that man. I'm talking about what seems to be a pattern.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Mayor?
I'd like to clarify. Yes, the pattern is that we want to clean up the city of Taylor. You're 100% correct, ma'am.